welcome to the regular session and executive sessions of the Yuma County Board of Supervisors, also sitting as all special taxes districts, April 7, 2025, at 9 a.m. Board members will attend either in person, by telephone, or remotely via electronic conferencing. And do we still have Lynn on the phone?
Chairman, I believe they're still trying to reconnect. Lynn, are you there?
Yes, I am.
There you go.
There she is. She's on the phone.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, I'm here. Thanks.
Thank you, Lynn. For those of you that are standing, if we also have chairs on the lobby, and the TVs are there if anybody wants a chair.
Or you can go to the new building and wait for us there. It'll only take us a few more months.
Can we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Raise the lights.
Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We'll go ahead and move on to call to the public. Call to the public is held for public benefit to allow individuals to address issues within the board's jurisdiction. Board members may not discuss items that are not specifically identified in the agenda. Therefore, pursuant to Arizona Revised Statute 38-431.01H, action taken as a result of public comments will be limited to directing staff to study the matter, responding to criticism, or scheduling the matter for further discussion and decision at a future date. Public comments may be made in person or submitted by email at publiccomments@yumacountyaz.gov. The emails forms of public comments will be accepted until 8 a.m. the morning of the meeting. All public comments will be read out loud during the Yuma County Board of Supervisors meeting that starts at 9 a.m. Desiree, do we have any emails? Yes.
Yes, we received 3 emailed comments. The first one is from Mary Hendrickson regarding minor amendment 24-06 billboards. Dear supervisors, as a traveler along the Highway 95 portion north of Yuma, I feel it would be a tragedy to put billboards from Yuma to Quartzsite. It has the best views with the natural terrain still available in Yuma County, available from a highway and non-off-road vehicle. The lack of billboards now provide the average onlooker a full 360 degree of the beautiful desert. Second comment is from Diane Greider regarding the minor amendment 24-06 billboards. To obstruct the awesome view of the mountains, desert, cactus, flowers, and animals along Highway 95 would be a tragedy. We have visitors from all over the world that come to see, take photographs, and comment on our desert. Please keep the billboards closer to the cities and leave our desert pristine. Our third comment is from Mark Hendrickson regarding 24-06 Highway 95 visual corridor. I understand that in the board meeting on April 7th, you will be voting on opening Highway 95 for billboards. Please keep Highway 95 clear of billboards. It's a beautiful corridor through our area. Don't let commercial interests clutter it up. Once you allow them in, we will never get rid of them. Please keep our desert beautiful.
Thank you, Desiree. And I have some speaker cards. We'll call to the public, and as I get them, got them in order. But if it's an agenda item, when I'll open it, if you want to speak or you want to speak right now, it's Manuel M. Ramirez.
Good morning, buenos dias.
Morning, buenos dias.
So for the past quarter century, the Highway 95 section from Yuma to Quartzsite has been designated a protected visual corridor. Views and vistas of the Kofa Mountains, Castle Dome Mountains, the Middle and the Muggins Mountains, the South Trigo Mountains, the Chocolate Laguna Mountains have all had unobstructed views that have been enjoyed by travelers for years. I urge the board to continue the wisdom of the previous Board of Supervisors and protect this jewel of a scenic byway from billboard signage. We don't need these panoramic views obstructed by signage of Walsh Drugs or the Vortex or Barber Shave or the law offices of Lee Cheatham and Howe, not to mention the light pollution that many billboards emit on the dark sides within the scenic byway. So I urge the board to maintain Highway 95 visual corridor status and protections. Thank you.
Thank you. Aaron, think you want to wait till we open? Where's Eric? Jay Murdiak? You want to wait? Okay. Mark Concha?
Good morning, everyone. La razón que estoy el día de hoy aquí es porque yo soy la persona que estoy sacando el paquete para hacer rico a Luis Márquez. Soy la persona que se le notificó hace 2 semanas de que se iba a mover lo que viene siendo las elecciones de mayo 20 a noviembre 4. La razón que estoy aquí es porque me siento que no estoy representado por ustedes. ¿Puedo continuar? Sí.
Go ahead.
No me siento representado, ¿por qué? Porque después de que el Yuma County Superintendent me notificó que podía hacer campaña para mayo 20 y que fue oficialmente ya mis firmas fueron aceptadas por el condado, se me está diciendo que se va a mover la elección a noviembre 4 del 2025. Se me hace un poco de mal gusto, honestamente, que se me haya movido lo que es las elecciones, ya que pues se hicieron gastos en lo que viene siendo en la propaganda, esa es una. Se hicieron lo que viene siendo las modificaciones para poder correr. Y lo que más me molesta, honestamente, es de que nadie ha salido de ustedes a decir cuál fue en realidad el motivo. Who dropped the ball, pretty much. So I want to know who dropped the ball, because I don't feel like everybody is putting attention on these elections. I don't know if everybody is seeing that that's the first recall on the board of supervisor that has been made on this county. Be honest, I don't feel represented from you guys. I want to know who dropped the ball as well, and why these issues start coming up. Why we never see any of these type of error before. Since you guys moved the election service from the Yuma Recorder's office, who was elected from us, the people of Yuma County, happen these errors. I'm pretty sure, I don't know who is in charge of that department right now, but I'm pretty sure we need to get back this department to where it's supposed to belong, because it's a lot of mistakes coming out. And be honest, I know you guys not you guys, the recorder's office already spent a couple thousands on this coming election due to this error. So normally it's going to cost around $50K to run these elections, but now it's going to be more expensive due to it's now only one person make a big boo-boo. So it's a tax money for everyone that is sitting on this today. And I don't feel that you guys are doing everything to make sure this is not going to happen. I know that's the first recall, but that is not the first election service. I mean, you guys need to do something about that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Ian, I think they've had a meeting already with this, so can you follow up? And
Yes, sir.
my understanding, there was not sufficient public notice for this election, so if you can translate or get with him to.
Will do.
Thank you. Gary Meister? Or Carrie? You want to wait for the item, or?
It's not on the agenda, what I'd like to speak to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Chairman Porteous and supervisors, My name is Kerry Meister. I'm a resident of Yuma County, Yuma City. And as I was doing research for an item that I'll speak to later today, which obviously has elicited some interest, I was looking for records of the agendas and the minutes of Planning and Zoning Commission meetings. And I noticed that online, it doesn't even include all of 2024. And I would like to request that the board look into whether we could have greater depth of information for not only the Board of Supervisors, which does have greater depth, but you could always have greater depth, and definitely for the Planning and Zoning Commission, and maybe look at other departments of the county which have records available to the public. As you know, transparency is very important in government, and accessibility is also important. If we as residents of Yuma County can get the information we need online, we don't need to burden staff with having to get it for us. There's also a cost involved, and in fairness to all county residents, if they can avoid that cost for records requests, because the data's online, it's public data, it would be extremely helpful in helping us prepare for when we address you. And so that's all I wanted to bring up today. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Can you look into that?
Yes, sir, I'll look into that.
Thank you. And you do have another item on the agenda? Israel Rodriguez. Or is it Isaac? Isaac? Okay, thank you. Anybody else from the public that wishes to address the board? And before we move on, I want to recognize Mark Smith for winning, getting the Arizona Agribusiness Integrated Award. He's a local farmer here. Is he still inside?
Where is Mark?
Where's Mark? Here. He left. Oh. Well, if you see him, congratulate him. Moving on to presentations, proclamations, and appointments. Move on to item number 1. Chairman proclaims the month of April 2025 to be County Government Month in Yuma County. And I believe Mr. Reyes.
No, I got that.
I got that one.
Oh, you got, okay. Supervisor Line.
All right. Proclaiming the month of April 2025 as County Government Month, whereas the nation's 3,069 counties serving more than 330 million Americans provide essential services to create healthy, safe, and vibrant communities. The counties fulfill a vast range of responsibilities and deliver services that touch nearly every aspect of our residents' lives. Counties, as intergovernmental partners, enact local, state, and federal programs to address the needs of all residents. Yuma County and all counties take pride in our responsibilities to protect, enhance the well-being, and safety of our residents, and in efficient and cost-effective ways. Each year since 1991, the County Association of Counties, the National Association of Counties, and encouraged counties across the country to elevate the awareness of county responsibilities, programs, and services. Now, therefore, the month of April 2025 is hereby proclaimed County Government Month in Yuma County, and encourage all county officials, employees, schools, and residents to participate in county government celebration activities.
And I think we have Oscar. And
Good morning, Chairman.
Morning, Oscar.
Members of the board, Oscar Chavez, Human Resources. On behalf of Yuma County Human Resources and all Yuma County employees, I'm honored to accept this proclamation today, recognizing April as Yuma County Government Month. Yuma County employees are the backbone of our community, working tirelessly to ensure public safety, promote well-being, and provide exceptional services to our residents. From the dedicated teams in law enforcement and public health to those in the courts, libraries, and administrative offices. every employee plays a crucial role in making Yuma County a resilient, prosperous, and diverse community to live and work. The commitment embodies our great values: growth, responsiveness, excellence, accountability, and trust, ensuring that we deliver exceptional customer service, maintain effective governance, foster healthy communities, and drive economic growth. As a symbol of our deep appreciation, the County Administration Building, Adult Probation, the historic courthouse, Justice Center, and main library will be illuminated in dark pink throughout the month of April, a color representing gratitude and appreciation. In human resources, we take appreciation seriously. Every quarter, we bring employees and their families together for exclusive movie nights, bowling days, holiday photo events, painting evenings, and craft studio nights. Small but meaningful ways to recognize the people behind the titles. I would also like to extend an invitation to each member of the board today to join us for our upcoming employee appreciation event at Cafecito right next door. This event will be on Friday, April 11th from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Really going to be an evening of live music, great food, and an opportunity to connect with the professionals that make Yuma County thrive. Additionally, we look forward to celebrating our employees' milestones at the annual Employee Recognition Ceremony next week on April 16th at the City of Yuma Historic Art Theater down the street, where we will honor employees for their years of service, recognize Employee of the Year and Safety Excellence Award winners, and announce the much-anticipated second Chairman's Cup winner for those who are recognizing outstanding innovation and service within our organization. Employee appreciation is not just about events, it's about building a culture of recognition that fuels engagement, retention, and excellence. When we take care of our employees take care of our community. So once again, thank you to the Board of Supervisors for this recognition and for your ongoing support. Let us continue to celebrate the dedication, passion, and hard work of the Yuma County employees, not just this month, but every day. Thank you.
Thank you, Oscar.
Yeah.
Very nice. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 2, Chairman proclaims the week of April 6th to the 12th, 2025 to be Library Week in Yuma County. And
Tony,
Tony.
I think that's it.
Every time we conduct surveys about the departments and what is the department are most popular, we always get the library as the top getter, about both getter. There's a reason for it. It's not only because the library is well used, but because they help for this great service. It's a great set of libraries that we have. So I'm going to read this proclamation. It says proclaiming the week of April 6 to 12, 2025 as Library Week in Yuma County. Whereas libraries spark creativity, fuel imagination, and inspire lifelong learning, offering a space where individuals of all ages can explore new ideas and be drawn to new possibilities. And whereas libraries serve as a vibrant community hubs, connecting people with knowledge, technology, and resources while fostering civic engagement, critical thinking, and lifelong learning. And whereas libraries provide free and equitable access to books, digital tools, and innovative programming, ensuring that all individuals, regardless of background, have the support they need to learn, connect, and thrive. And whereas library empowers job seekers, entrepreneurs, and lifelong learners by providing access to resources, training, and opportunities to support career growth and economic success. And now, therefore, the week of April 6 to 12, 2025 is hereby proclaimed to be Library Week in Yuma County. During this week, all residents are encouraged to visit their libraries, explore its resources, and celebrate all ways that a library draws together as a community.
We have the director of the library.
And Mrs. Wisdom, what a nice name for a librarian. Sarah Wisdom.
Yes. Chairman Porches, members of the board, I'm Ashley Jones, Library Director. First and foremost, I want to say thank you for making the time to have this proclamation this week. This is a week that gives us the opportunity to celebrate libraries and library staff and all that we do for the community. We're meant to be part of the community during the good times and the bad, and it's our job to evaluate what those resources need to be to best serve our community, but also help continue Yuma County to grow together. This week, we do have our patron satisfaction survey going on, so members of the community have that opportunity to provide some feedback for us and provide some info on maybe some of the resources that they would like to see happen at the library. We're fortunate to continue to have the support of the county and the people who live in the county, and we continuously hope to keep improving the resources that we do have. So thank you very much, and I'm here for any questions.
Thank you.
Here to receive the
We'll
proclamation.
give you the proclamation. Anybody else with you from the library?
Nope, just me today.
All right.
That's good, because that means everybody else is at the library.
Exactly, everybody else is getting the work done.
There we go. 1, 2.
Item number 3, Chairman proclaims the week of April 7th to the 13th, 2025 as Public Health Week in Yuma County.
I've got that. Okay, proclaiming the week of April 7th through the 13th, 2025 as Public Health Week in Yuma County. Whereas the week of April 7th through the 13th, 2025 is the National Public Health Week. And the theme is, It Starts Here, highlighting the importance of making a difference in our home, community, and state. And whereas public health professionals help communities prevent, prepare for, withstand, and recover from the impact of a full range of health threats, including disease outbreaks such as the COVID-19 pandemic, natural disasters, and disasters caused by human activity. And whereas public health action, together with scientific and technological advances, has played a major role in reducing and in some cases eliminating the spread of infectious disease and establishing today's disease surveillance and control systems. And whereas now more than ever, it is important to understand the value of public health and to continue building strong public health systems for sustaining and improving community health. Now, therefore, the week of April 7th through the 13th, 2025 is hereby proclaimed to be Public Health Week in Yuma County, and call upon the people of Yuma County to observe this week by helping our families, friends, neighbors, co-workers, and leaders to better understand the value of public health and supporting great opportunities to adopt preventative lifestyle habits in light of the year's theme, It Starts Here.
Good morning, Chairman Porches, members of the board, Diana Gomez, Director of Public Health. Thank you. I'm honored to accept this proclamation on behalf of our Public Health Department and staff. A lot of times people don't realize what happens in public health because we're silently working in the background. But at 3 a.m., our vector control staff is out there testing for mosquitoes, fogging, making sure there's no environmental health hazards. Our environmental health staff is out there with new people that want to start businesses, their food carts, or vendors that want to participate in an event, in a community event. Our maternal child health staff is busy working with new moms, pregnant moms, teaching them about prenatal care, linking them to services. We're teaching nutrition classes in the schools and linking people to services and teaching classes so they can manage their diabetes, their hypertension, and learn the value of that preventive care in maintaining their health. And you have injury prevention who's out there doing presentations and handing out car seats and teaching people how to use that safely, and a whole host of other safety classes. You have emergency preparedness, who there's an item later in the consent agenda, who does community events and trainings to facilitate the ability for people to have the capacity to respond to the event of the emergency. And in this particular instance, volunteer so that they can have the skill set that they need to be able to help respond to in a community emergency. So thank you so much for your ongoing support. Greatly appreciate it, and we look forward to continuing to work to serve our community.
Thank you, Diana.
One thing, one comment. I just still want to emphasize one thing. A lot of people do not know what the health department does. And in San Luis, in South County, what they know is that they provide vaccines, of all kinds of vaccines, just not COVID-19. And I want to make sure that that's acknowledged and that you're given the proper credit, because the county finally realized that it's better to get to where the need is and to have the need come to you specifically, because the type of things you do are the stuff that the community takes for granted. Thank you very much for your efforts, and congratulations.
Thank you so much. And I'll have my. The other people that
You
make
have-
magic
How
happen.
many do you have? Can we walk? Or Okay,
We'll-
we'll fit in there.
We'll squeeze in together. Thank you, sir. Oh, we're going this way. Okay, well, I'm looking at our lead.
All right, 1, 2, you good? All right, 1, 2, 3.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you again. Thank you again. Thank you.
I don't have much money.
But if I had.
I told him he was safe with me behind me. You weren't there.
Oh, that's always nice to have a buffer zone. In your wallet and whomever.
Item number 4, Chairman proclaims April 6th to the 12th, 2025 to be Crime Victims' Right Week in Yuma County. Proclaiming the week of April 6th to the 12th, 2025 as Crime Victims' Rights Week, whereas crime affects individuals, families, and communities in profound and various ways, often leaving lasting physical, emotional, and social challenges, and whereas the concept of kinship underscores the connection that builds bridges to support services and shared strength among survivors, advocates, and communities, and whereas kinship is the foundation of victim advocacy, inspiring trauma-informed care that meets survivors where they are, and whereas kinship reminds us of the strength that comes from connection, the importance of listening to every voice, and the power to create lasting change when we work together. Now, therefore, the week of April 6th to the 12th, 2025 is hereby proclaimed as Crime Victims' Right Week in Yuma County. And we have.
Good morning, Chairman Porchas and members of the board. My name is Sonia Salcido, and I'm a member of the Victims' Rights Committee and also the Victim Services Coordinator with Amberley's Place. I'm happy to accept this proclamation on behalf of all members of the Victims' Rights Committee. This year, we are hosting an invite-only picnic for crime victims, survivors, and some dignitaries. The event will highlight how the community can provide options, services, and hope for victims. In addition, for the month of April, our committee also supports activities for Child Abuse Prevention and Sexual Assault Awareness Month. An upcoming event of one of our agency members, Safe House, in partnership with Somerton Domestic Violence Task Force, will be hosting a walk to show support against sexual violence, and it's scheduled for April 30th at 6 p.m. at the Bushmasters Memorial Park in Somerton. Amberley's Place has also begun planting pinwheel gardens throughout the community, so you'll see a lot of blue. I also welcome members to share their agency events with the community. We have the Healing Journey is also doing a Celebrate of the Child on April 25th, and YPG will be doing a Romp and Stomp on child abuse for April 21st, as well as another pinwheel event for YPG on April 17th. at Price Elementary School. We appreciate your support to highlighting the importance of serving all crime victims in Yuma County. Our goal today is to bring awareness to the different victim agencies, service agencies, and resources available in Yuma County. The following are members of our committee: Amberlise Place, Arizona Child and Adolescent Survivor Initiative, Candy Villegas, Community Legal Services, County Attorney Victim Services Division, Lena Lopez, Mark Martinez, MCAS Family Advocacy Program, MCAS Sexual Assault Prevention and Response Office, Safe House, The Healing Journey, Yuma County United Way, YPG Family Advocacy Program, YPG Sexual Harassment Assault Response and Prevention Program. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for what you do, all your help that you do there for all the victims. And
Mr. Chairman, this is one of the few times I'll say I miss an attorney. Where's John Smith on this? We would be standing up giving us a presentation on this. I do want to emphasize that you guys do all this. It's not a thankless job, but it's a job that takes a lot, for people who do it. So I personally, I think on behalf of the board, would like to thank you for all the work that you guys do and to tell you that there's a need for more activity on this. And this is just one way that we think we keep it in the public's eye. So thank you very much for what you do and good luck.
Thank you. On behalf of all of the board members, thank you. Thank you.
you want to come up and maybe we sit in the back.
Group, huh?
Get everybody. Thank you.
You'll be responsible to be in the right.
I'm gonna take a few.
Remember
Their
that
phone and voice.
comments on that side.
Jojo.
Oh,
We got a big group.
this is one of those,
Yes.
we should have stayed in the back, huh? Is there a chair? Get a pinwheel. Thank you. Can I get somebody to blow on this? Whoa.
No hiding in the back.
Somebody give, please come on this side.
It's okay.
Doesn't bite.
Come on in.
There you go. Okay.
You sure you have a white there?
Yeah, I have a white one. And it's gonna be a few. Just hold it.
Let me change.
All right, 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Gracias. Thank you.
Go Crims.
Si tuviera pelo me lo pusiera en la cabeza.
Dang, look at, I got extras.
Moving on to item number 5, Human Resources, present the Yuma County Leadership Empowerment and Development U-Lead Program graduates.
Believe it, surely, clear.
That's probably why there's so many people in.
Good morning, Chairman Porches and members of the board. Nayeli Flores, Human Resources Training Supervisor. 9 months ago, we were here to present to you the launch of our first Yuma County Leadership Empowerment and Development Program. I'm excited to be standing here today to present to you the graduation of our first cohort. I'm proud to showcase to you today the growth and development that our 14 graduates have achieved and would like to recognize each one of them. Over the last 9 months, these 14 participants have worked endlessly by attending 29 required trainings, meeting regularly with their assigned executive mentors, and participating in monthly interactive discussions, roundtable discussions. These 14 graduates have completed a cumulative total of 1,428 training hours. Our graduates have expressed and displayed not only professional growth, but personal growth as well, having a positive impact on their work and personal lives, and are putting into practice their skills to foster healthy, prosperous working environments for Yuma County and courts. I would like to thank our team of executive mentors for dedicating their time and energy over the last 9 months to help guide, coach, and mentor our graduates. A hidden bonus for ULEAD was the impact for our mentors as well. Some mentors expressed that they too have learned a lot from this experience. As part of their curriculum, participants had to prepare and present on a specific topic related to leadership. Final presentations were held on March 18th at the Yuma Main Library. I do have a short video. I would like to thank Arlene Galaviz and her communications team for being present to capture this milestone event and for compiling a short video for us today.
This is the public library.
Yuma County's ULEAD program empowered employees to embrace their leadership potential and step into future roles with confidence. 6 project teams participated in the program, each guided by a dedicated executive mentor who provided leadership and support throughout the process.
The mentors were very important because they guided us, they coached us, and they helped us through every step of the way, through every training, any question we had, and we always received the answers that we needed in order to progress in our program.
The 9-month-long program encouraged employees to develop their abilities, foster motivation, and strengthen their commitment to growth. Learning objectives covered supervisor roles, leadership, communication, and conflict management.
We did have over 90-something hours of training in 9 months that we had to accomplish. And it has changed just the atmosphere for me at work, leading to trying to lead by example. Teamwork to me is like the most valuable thing. So it's taught us everything about that.
Participants gain tools to delegate effectively, foster positive communication, and make sound decisions. They embraced key leadership traits, inspired workplace creativity, and worked with stakeholders to drive change.
I highly recommend this program to other Yuma County employees because you learn so much. The things we often take for granted are brought to the surface, and you have to talk about it and work through it, and also engage with others that are a part of the county that want to see the goodness in the county become even better.
The program concluded with 6 project teams showcasing innovative solutions to improve county workforce as a whole, reflecting the participants' creativity and leadership growth.
I would like to now present to you 2 volunteers from our ULEAD group that would like to share their experience with you, Robert Bleish and Lavette Malone.
Good morning, Chairman Porches and members of the board. My name is Lavette Malone, and I am the Financial Services Supervisor at Yuma County Juvenile Court. When I accepted the opportunity to participate in the ULEAD program, the first thing that I thought about is what is the, what can I accomplish from being a part of this program? The county's mission statement says that working together to innovatively deliver excellence, services essential to fostering a safe, healthy, thriving community, aiming to deliver exceptional public services, enhance the quality of life for all residents. Well, this program put together a plan to help the supervisors come up with a way to help our employees to enact this in their daily life. And
It's okay, you're doing good.
Relax.
the most important thing that I learned is being able to just be genuinely you and wanting to stand up and give back and encourage others to embark on new opportunities. This opportunity for me was extremely beneficial because it taught me things about myself, as well as encouraged me to share with others experiences and figuring out ways to make things better.
You're
doing
right.
great.
Doing great. Yeah.
Doing good.
You lead.
Right. We learned how to communicate with others, how to explore different pathways for interacting when things don't always seem to go the way we want, figuring out ways to encourage others to give feedback, and recognizing when things are not going in a direction, how to pull it back in, and how to implore others' thoughts and originally, the application said, why do you want to participate in ULEAD? And what do you hope to benefit from it? My response was, I was always taught to surround myself with people of like mind and who share the same goals and ambitions as yourself. The ULEAD program is an opportunity for me to find the network that will allow me to become a better leader and person. I am hoping to gain the skills to be able to lead, communicate, and manage conflict while also being a great supervisor. And I can honestly say that this program has provided me tools and opportunities to accomplish those things. And I am very appreciative that this program was available to me, being that I was recently promoted to being the financial services supervisor. And it has helped me to guide my employees to be better people and to embark on our responsibilities in a professional way, looking for ways to improve and make sure that we are adhering to the county standards. And I want to say once again, thank you for allowing this program to become a part of the Yuma County standards. And we appreciate it, and thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Chairman Porches, other members of the board. My name is Robert Bleish. I am a senior attorney at the Public Defender's Office for Yuma County. Many moons ago, I was in sales, and I had a sales manager tell me this quote: "When you're green, you grow. When you're ripe, you rot." And what that means is that growth is important. And that quote has always stayed with me. I've been in private practice and public service now. Well, October will be 25 years. And growth is essential. This program that we're discussing today reflects that principle. Staying green and teachable is a secret to success. When you're ripe, you rot. When you think you know everything, you stop growing. And I studied business management and organizational development in college. So this is a little bit of my wheelhouse, but two of the many lessons that I took away from my university schooling was the concept of selective hiring and emergent leadership. Emergent leadership is when a person rises from, you have a pool of workers and leaders will naturally emerge. And it's not because they were assigned as a leader, but it's through their actions that they earn the trust and respect of coworkers, and that's how we find our leaders. The initiative in this program, I think, will continue. If this program continues, and which I suggest that it does, will develop strong leaders, and what I see as most important, reduce the liability to Yuma County under any circumstances. Well, of course, we want to protect the county. Over the course of my career, I've learned the value of constructive criticism and how to use constructive criticism in the workplace as a growing opportunity. Working with individuals as a supervisor is not a one-size-fits-all approach. Each individual has unique needs, and you want to be able to address each of them impartially, but also with empathy and with what's called emotional intelligence. And these are the lessons that were taught in this program, and I also apply them in my personal life. As someone who is not currently a supervisor, I recognize the importance of accountability and psychological safety in the workplace for employees. It's all about selective hiring and retaining good employees. In my mind, that's how I see the values that I'm sure that I strongly suspect that you all agree with me on that. I believe my industry experience and now having completed this U-Lead program, I am prepared to lead in the future if the need arose for Yuma County. I wholeheartedly support this program. I commend the vision behind it, and whoever's responsible, who I suspect might be standing right behind me, Nayeli, it's clear to me that the futures leaders of the supervisors of the county will benefit greatly from the skills and values that the program has offered to me. And thank you for your time.
Thank you, Robert.
Thank you, Robert and Lavette. I would now like to present each graduate with their certificate of completion.
Is there a money involved, check involved?
No, just the very pleasure of standing here and saying we did it, because it was a lot. They put in a lot of hard work. So, and I will call each one. Crystal Beltran. Robert Bleish. Janine Casas. Billy Pfizer. Matt Fox. Veronica Garcia. Ruben Gonzalez. Chantal Eras. Claudia Macias. Lavette Malone. Roxana Nunez. Perez. Jose Luis Rodriguez. And Renee Holbach. Thank you and congratulations, U-Lead Cohort 2025 graduates.
All right, everybody, let's get organized. Let's get tight.
So we can get everybody up here.
Shortest to tallest.
We're gonna have to take this.
Where do you want? And then also, yeah, so we can get the, Laura, come on, you know you're gonna go there. Stop playing. All right.
Well, we can try and make it harder.
All right. Yeah.
Everybody jump up and down.
Matt, I think back, that way. Supervisor Simmons, that way, there we go. And then Jessica, if you could go between Roxanne, right there, perfect. All right, I got everybody. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
You did good. Don't worry about it.
Oh.
You gonna run? You gonna run? Are you green or you gonna run?
I'm green. You have the room, so.
Slowly thinning out.
We'll move on to item number 6, presentation of the Yuma County Employee of the Year nominee by Yuma 77, the Yuma County Government Channel.
We are excited to recognize the nominees for the 2025 Courts in Yuma County Employee of the Year Award for their exceptional dedication to our judicial system, embodying our core values. Nidia Casas, Best for Babies Community Coordinator, Juvenile Justice Center. Nidia launched the Best for Babies program at the Yuma County Juvenile Court in 2024, ensuring a critical care for displaced children under the age of 3. Collaborating with community stakeholders, she also created the Parent Support Center, a welcoming space connecting families to resources. Her efforts highlight the power of innovative programs to strengthen families, streamline core processes, and positively impact the Yuma County community. Rhiannon Valenzuela, Probation Officer 2, Adult Probation. Rhiannon, a dedicated probation officer, excels in managing clients with serious mental health diagnoses through the Mental Health Court Program. Her expertise secures critical resources and enhances outcomes for clients. A defensive tactics instructor and mentor, she trains colleagues on effective supervision strategies. Recognized as Officer of the Year, Rhiannon's commitment to advocacy and innovation strengthened her department and fosters success for clients and staff alike. Maria Beltran, Law Library Manager, Superior Court. Maria Beltran has consistently demonstrated Yuma County's core values of growth, responsiveness, excellence, accountability, and trust through her tenure. She has expanded resources for self-representative litigants in a region with limited legal services, improved library operations, and maintained public trust through accessible services. Her leadership in launching azcourthealth.org and community workshops has enhanced access to justice, reinforcing her commitment to public service and legal education. Beltran's efforts make her a deserving nominee for Employee of the Year. Next, we honor the nominees for the 2025 Yuma County Employee of the Year Award, whose service has positively impacted our community and reflects our commitment to excellence. Mindy Scott, Sanitarian Aid Development Services. Mindy embodies the strategic plan core values through her dedication and efforts. She furthers her education in physical sciences for future registered sanitarian certification and promotes cleanup events, bringing groups together to tackle illicit dumping on public lands. Her coordination with agencies has reduced costs through volunteer efforts. As Development Services Safety Officer and Morale Committee member, Mindy exemplifies excellence, accountability, and trust in serving Yuma County. Maria Mendez, Acquisition Specialist, Library District. Maria Mendez has proven to be an invaluable asset with 23 years of service. In addition to her role in expanding the library's collection, Maria has taken the initiative to improve employee wellness by creating a staff pantry and coordinating morale-boosting activities. Her commitment to both her colleagues and the community exemplifies the values of integrity, growth, and dedication, making her a standout employee. Jose Quesada Gutierrez, Project Manager Specialist, Facilities Management. Jose, the sole project manager for Facilities Management, has demonstrated outstanding dedication and expertise in managing nearly $5 million in projects during fiscal year 24-25. His innovative approach, such as proposing cost-saving solutions for the Yuma County Justice Center, exemplifies his commitment to excellence. Jose's ability to oversee critical projects, improve processes, and exceed expectations reflects his growth, accountability, and responsiveness, making him a deserving candidate for Employee of the Year. Julie Willinger, Indigent Burial Specialist, Public Fiduciary. Julie has exemplified Yuma County's core values through her professionalism and compassion. Her thorough work in the Yuma County Indigent Burial Program, including diligent searches and assistance to families in need, has earned praise for community members. Ms. Willinger also played a key role in solving cold cases, collaborating with Ohio BCI to identify serial rapists and murder, demonstrating exceptional customer service and dedication. Susana Magdaleno, Executive Legal Assistant, Public Defender. Susana, with her initiative and institutional knowledge, expertly managed the relocation of the Office of the Public Defender, ensuring smooth operations despite the challenges of geographic separation. Through her leadership, staff and attorneys were able to continue serving clients without disruption, all while maintaining cost-effective staffing levels. Susana's dedication extends beyond her role as she actively supports local organizations, demonstrating her commitment to both Yuma County and the community. Carlos Marquez, Safety and Security Coordinator, County Administration. Carlos consistently exemplifies Yuma County's core values through his outstanding service and dedication. In less than a year, Carlos took on additional safety duties outside his role, ensuring smooth operations despite the challenges. His responsive, professional, and approachable demeanor fosters trust among colleagues and visitors. Carlos's commitment to excellence, ethical standards, and collaboration makes him a valuable team member and a deserving nominee for Employee of the Year. Margarita Gamboa, General Ledger Supervisor, Financial Services. Margarita has been an invaluable leader in developing department staff through training and clear communication. As a supervisor, she encourages professional growth while managing unexpected changes. Her dedication was evident when she worked through lunch to resolve budget file discrepancies, ensuring no delays to county services. She also promotes sustainability by transitioning to electronic record storage. Margarita's commitment to excellence, teamwork, and efficiency makes her a deserving nominee for Employee of the Year. Nayeli Flores, Human Resources Training Supervisor, Human Resources. Nayeli exemplifies Yuma County's core values through her creation of the U-Lead program, designed to empower employees and prepare them for leadership roles. By addressing succession planning needs, the program fosters growth, responsiveness, and excellence within the county. Through her strategic approach, Nayeli not only saved Yuma County over $10,000 annually, but also cultivated a pipeline of future leaders. Her commitment to accountability and trust strengthens county operations, ensuring long-term success. We also acknowledge the nominees for the 2025 Yuma County Safety Excellence Award, whose dedication to safety upholds our values of accountability and trust. Robert Rosas, Senior HVAC Mechanic, Facilities Management, and Robert Rico, Fire and Security Technician 2, Facilities Management. Lastly, we introduce the second annual Chairman's Cup Award. Let's meet the exceptional teams competing for this prestigious honor, showcasing the excellence that defines Yuma County. Communications, Arizona Treasurers Conference 2024. Human Resources, U-Lead Leadership Program. Health District, Medical Reserves, Core Unit 2859. Library District, Heritage Seed Library. Public Works, 3rd Annual Yuma County CTE Event. Public Defender's Office, Capital Mitigation Project. Congratulations to all of the nominees. The winners of each category will be announced at the 2025 Yuma County Annual Employee Recognition Ceremony taking place on Wednesday, April 16th at the City of Yuma Historic Art Theater. Stay tuned as winners will be announced on the next episode of The Mix.
Thank you, Arlene, for that. Moving on to consent calendar, the following items listed under the consent agenda will be considered as a group and acted upon by one motion with no separate discussion unless the board member so requests. In that event, the item will be removed from the consent calendar for separate discussion and action.
Mr. Chairman, we have items 1 through 16.
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve items 1 through 5 and 7 through 16. I will recuse myself from item number 6 and exit the room.
I'll second that. That's Lynn.
Okay. There's a motion to approve items 1 to 5 and 7 to 16. And we'll approve item number 6.
Okay, so the motion will be to go ahead and approve items
1 through 5,
and
6, 7 through 16.
and leave item 6. Because
I'll walk out. As chairman of WIFA, I won't vote.
There's a motion and a second to approve items 1 through 5 and 7 to 16. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 6.
I'll make a motion to approve 6.
There's a motion and a second to approve item number 6 as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. We're gonna go into an executive session for legal advice for about maybe 7-10 minutes, no more, or hopefully. So is there a motion to go into executive session?
Chairman, I can motion to go into executive session.
I'll second.
There's a motion and a second to go into executive session. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. We'll be right back.
We were number 4.
Oh, okay.
How does that
Thank you so much. I think we can cut our water.
Convene to regular session. And I believe on item, it was item 2 then, discussion and action item on number 2. And Ian, can you give us, can you call for a special meeting to make a decision on that?
Yes, sir, will do.
Take action
We'll try to get that this week.
this week? Okay. On discussion and item, and action item of number 1, I think, can we have Frank, the engineer of Yuma County, to talk with the city of Yuma, and then to what happens and bring him back after that?
Very good, will do.
All right. Thank you. Moving on to Housing Governing Board. The board will open each of the following items separately for discussion and action as appropriate. I'll go ahead and recess. I'll go ahead and recess the Yuma County Board of Supervisors and convene as the Yuma County Housing Board.
Okay.
We don't have Virginia here.
Will not be here today.
Item number 1, conduct a public hearing to allow public comment on the Yuma County Housing Department Public Housing Agency Annual Plan for fiscal year 2025 and direct staff to attach the comments received to the Public Housing Agency Annual Plan. And I did see Jesus. Do we? Where? Oh, do we want to?
No, I want to ask him a couple of questions before we approve it. I mean, it's a public hearing first. So, first of all, have you gotten anything from the federal government regarding HUD, either
So
Section
far
8 or-
as-
so far you haven't
So
gotten
far
it?
it's looking good. Yeah.
So we're gonna just conduct a public hearing on this and then just simply approve it, right?
Yeah, this is something that we do
every year.
Every year, so.
I'll go ahead and open the call to the public hearing. Seeing none from the public, I'll bring it back to the board.
I make a motion, we approve the
Second.
annual plan for fiscal year 2025 and direct staff to attach all comments received from the Public Housing Agency annual plan.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Is this a container discussion? Is this a container discussion?
Yeah.
We'll move on to discussion and action items. Item number 1, discussion concerning a possible text amendment to the Yuma County zoning ordinance to consider changes to section 1101.01 cargo containers.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Javier Barras, Senior Planner, presenting this discussion item. This is a kind of lengthy presentation. Is that okay if we go? Want me to jump through slides or?
Say that.
And just go along with this.
The intent is to consider possibly allowing cargo containers as accessory uses in residential zoning districts that allow parcels of less than 2 acres in size without the approval of a special use permit. Also allowing more than 1 cargo container in residential zoning district that allows parcels of 2 acres or greater in size, allowing cargo containers to be stacked, and allowing cargo containers for human occupancy without the need of a variance on all those 3 last ones. A Yuma County resident raised concerns about outdated cargo containers regulations in the Yuma County zoning ordinance on the June 25th, 2024, almost a year, at the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting. And his comments were cargo containers uses have evolved and regulations should reflect that. Cargo containers should be permitted in more zoning districts and allowed to be stacked in certain cases. Cargo containers should be considered for human occupancy, and the special use permit requirement should be removed.
That one's a little difficult to me. Why would you want to remove the special use permit?
That's what this resident brought up at that meeting. Right now, in a smaller, less than an acre, for instance, RVS zoning, it requires an approval special use permit to allow cargo containers to be uses storage units. So this text amendment is brought up to you to consider removing that requirement, as well as other like a variance requirements as far as number of cargo containers allowed in certain parcels with sizes. And also they can be stacked on different zonings. Let's just go back. And also be utilized for human occupancy without the need of a variance. So deviations from the zoning ordinance sometimes require variances, others require special use permits. This is how the section 1106.01 looks right now in the zoning ordinance. We conducted research. We reached out to City of San Luis, City of Somerton, Yuma, Town of Welton, La Paz County, Maricopa County, Pima County, City of Phoenix, City of Las Vegas, Nevada, City of Glendale, Yuma County Building Safety Division provided their comments, MCAS Yuma provided their comments, Yuma County Airport Authority, also stakeholders, Tim Steedman of All Star Storage Containers provided his comments on this, and a Yuma County resident. This Yuma County resident at the planning and zoning meeting provided that cargo containers intended for storage purposes may be stacked on lots larger than 2 acres in C2 and industrial zoning districts. And also provided that instead of the proposed 2 cargo containers allowed in the SR, SSB, and SA zoning districts to be, instead of 2, 4. So we're gonna, this is our analysis. We are in this list, we're providing challenges in residential areas, if those are allowed without a special use permit. Also how they should be regulated on larger lots, and the stacking of cargo containers. In conclusion, the Planning and Zoning Division review the current regulations and gather feedback, as you saw, from residents and neighboring jurisdictions regarding the use of cargo containers. In various zoning districts, while cargo containers provide versatile and cost-effective solutions for storage and construction, concerns such as compatibility with existing residential neighborhoods, structural safety, and compliance with zoning and building codes must be addressed. The options presented are to the Planning and Zoning Commission is to initiate a text amendment to the Yuma County zoning ordinance to allow 1 cargo container as an accessory use in the low-density residential zoning district, R-2, R-3, MHP, MHS, RVS, PD, and local commercial without requiring a special use permit. Number 2, initiate a text amendment to permit more than 1 cargo container in the SR zoning, SSB, SH, for lots of 2 acres or greater in size without requiring a variance. Number 3, initiate a text amendment to allow the stacking of cargo containers provided that such use complies with safety and structural regulations outlined in the International Building Code. Stacking should be limited to certain zoning districts, such as industrial or larger residential lots, to minimize visual impacts. Number 4, initiate a text amendment to allow the use of cargo containers for human occupancy as long as they comply with IBC and IRC codes, as well as obtaining proper building permits. And number 5, consider leaving the Yuma County zoning ordinance as it is, unchanged. This is our recommendation to the Planning and Zoning Commission. This is in the form of the strike-through will be words to be deleted, and in bold what's going to be added. This is what we're proposing to the Planning and Zoning Commission. The Planning Commission recommends to initiate a text amendment to section 1106.01 of the Yuma County zoning ordinance. And this is the recommendation. If that is recommended, this is how again, in the same format, strike-through font and will be deleted, and in bold will be added. So what we did, we changed difference from the first. It'll be that instead of 2 cargo containers, the Planning and Zoning Commission recommends 4 in SR, SSB, SH zoning districts. Mr. Chairman, that concludes the presentation. So this request is to initiate a text amendment. And
any questions from the board? To staff?
Is this supposed to help with the housing situation? Is that what its intent is, by removing all the restrictions so that people can live on them?
You could, don't know. The thing is, cargo containers they're limited use in certain residential. For smaller lots, they're not allowed. Cargo containers not allowed in, let's say, RVS lots, R2. So these are smaller lots. All you need, if you want, if the board approves a special use permit, they will be allowed, but they need to apply for a special use permit to have at least 1 cargo container on their property. Now, if they want to have, for instance, in the suburban ranch, which are 2 acres or more, they need a variance to have more than 1. So what this proposed text is to allow, don't have the need for a special use permit or variances.
On which size property?
I'm sorry?
On what size property?
Let's say for, the special use permit is for smaller lots than 2 acres. And the variance is for, let's say, to deviate from the requirement of only 1 cargo container per parcels with 2 acres in size, like in the suburban ranch, suburban site build, suburban homestead, they require a variance to have more than 1, which is 2, 3, 4. They need a variance. The stacking on other zonings besides C2 and industrial, they need a variance to stack them on a different zoning. And also the human occupancy requires a variance also.
A variance?
A variance, a deviation from, because they're not for human occupancy, they will require a variance. It's getting closer?
What are we changing?
We are deviating from that requirement, so special use permits that won't be needed and variances won't be needed.
Okay.
So more permissiveness is what you're saying.
Oh, that didn't sound good, but.
One thing worries me is if you start getting like a residential community, like, okay, Mesa del Sol, and then you've got somebody trying to put a cargo container in there. But this restricts that.
Yeah, for the size.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
there's some that are like those, like a shed, like a metal shed or aluminum shed.
Yeah, I used to have one, but it just worries me about established residential areas.
Mr. Chairman, Maggie Castro, Planning and Zoning Director. So the current zoning ordinance does not allow cargo containers in any zoning district except for residential use, the suburban ranch, suburban site build, and suburban homestead. No other residential zoning district allows cargo containers for storage purposes by right. Even the suburban ranch, suburban homestead, and suburban site built zoning districts, those still require, there's a limit as to the number of cargo containers that can be placed on those properties, which is 1. The proposed text amendment would allow that to be increased from 1 cargo container to 4 cargo containers. And then the smaller residential zoning districts, low-density residential, medium-density residential, high-density residential, manufactured home park, manufactured home subdivision, recreational vehicle subdivision, planned development, if it's intended for residential uses, would allow 1 cargo container by right.
But not larger than 400 feet in size, or square feet, yeah.
For the cargo container itself, correct.
In other words, a 40 by 10.
Any other questions for? Yeah, and I think I have Aaron for this item. Thank you, Javier and Maggie.
Sure.
Put it in the speaker.
Mr. Chairman, Supervisors, Aaron Soey. First of all, I want to address the special use permit. They expire and are costly. And so if you're going to put one in there, I was approached by members of the community, especially in the foothills. The safety and security that come from having a cargo container is much better than what sheds provide. And we have some neighborhoods that have 4 and 5 and 6 sheds in the backyard because they don't require permits. So they just stack them on top of each other, and it's much less aesthetically pleasing than a cargo container would be. Sorry, my screenshot disappeared. 1 second. It's always something. Okay, so first of all, I'd like to thank the Planning and Zoning Commission for their addition to the call to the public, so this could even be raised in the first place. This request was directly from interactions within the community and a desire to change certain aspects of our community living. Thank you to County Development and Services staff as well for working tirelessly to improve our community and keep us up to date with the communities surrounding us that have since updated their cargo container policies. They entertain new building opportunities, and they also address low-cost housing issues plaguing your constituents. I believe this amendment will assist with all of these and several other issues. This will provide more secure storage for members of the foothills and other members of the community that are not here year-round, and they're much more safe and secure than those sheds. We typically see the sheriff's department out in the foothills area at least twice a week for sheds being broken into while the residents are gone. This will help alleviate that, I'm sure. This also will provide jobs and business opportunities for members of the community, revamping and redoing and delivering shipping containers. We also support requiring a monotone paint job as they do in certain other areas, in keeping with the desert palette is how they write it in Maricopa County. So I would definitely be in support of that, so we don't have blue ones, green ones, orange ones all throughout the communities. I understand that concern completely. This will make using a shipping container much more cost effective as well. Having the opportunity to bring one into smaller lot sizes, I think as long as they can maintain setbacks and fulfill the requirements that already exist, that this is just another type of shed, just happens to be 320 square feet. There are several companies and stakeholders that attended meetings at Planning and Zoning that have the ability to deliver these into the smallest location and the smallest spaces. It would also expand their opportunity to create business in Yuma County. If they're installed similar to other communities, the visual impact can be mitigated, and you can work within the confines of our existing requirements to do that. Please expedite the process of implementing this text amendment. If you drive over the county and see some certain new areas, also people are using them currently now and are out of compliance. So to try and get one moved out of an area that's out of compliance is costly and fits that time constraint. It was also kind of addressed during your last supervisors meeting when you have certain residents that complain about things. It takes an extraordinarily long amount of time to correct those issues through the hearing process. This would kind of alleviate that. There are 2 cases pending right now in that process for this reason. And then also last quickly, C up there talks about using them for moving and transport purposes. As long as you're renting a container, it kind of bypasses this anyway. So it's better to fix this problem now than to look at it again later. Thank you.
Thank you, Aaron.
Questions? Me?
Questions for? Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else that wants to talk about this item? Thank you. Bring it back to the board.
Well, I want to ask Maggie or Javier, is this still the 50% coverage over a lot? This is part of that? So what I'm trying to say is if they've got a very small yard and they're trying to squeeze this in, if they're over that 50%, it won't allow them to do that.
Mr. Chairman, yes, still need to meet development standards, lot coverage, rear yard coverage, height setbacks. Yes, they still need to comply with those
Hopefully
requirements.
not in the front yard.
All accessory structures have to meet principal, front setbacks. So if it's 10 feet, it should be 10 feet for any accessory structure currently.
The only reason I'm saying that is because I've got a gentleman down the street from me that's got a 40-foot container sitting in front of his house.
Okay, but it's not allowed.
Just kind of don't want to add to the area that could happen.
I still want to go back and ask, why the removal of a special use permit? I understand the fact that, it's a costly process, but it's the only process that allows us, if it's being misused, to take it. I mean, we had this situation right now with some containers that were food containers, food trucks, that if we didn't have a special use permit to restrict what the use of that parcel, we wouldn't have any tool at all to solve a problem, a neighborhood problem. I understand the fact that we want to make it more accessible. I just don't know if we're overdoing it. The permissiveness that Supervisor.
But the codes will enforce this. I mean, it's not gonna be just a free for all. I mean, they gotta have to follow the setbacks, the lot coverage. So
that shouldn't be that much of a concern.
The special use permit only comes to us, and then we say yes or no because it's not allowed.
Okay. All right.
So.
So, what do you want us to give a direction?
Yes, to start a text amendment and start the process.
I'd say we start a text amendment.
Yeah. You are seeing more of those becoming homes. I mean, there's companies out there that convert cargo containers for homes, so.
I'll make a motion, we'll go ahead and start the text amendment.
I'll second the motion. All right, there's a motion and a second to approve initiating a text amendment to the Yuma County zoning ordinance section 1106.01, cargo containers. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. Moving on to planning and zoning agenda. Full legal description of the property sites for all rezoning cases are available for public review at the Yuma County Board of Supervisors office. Regular public hearing staff will make a full presentation on each of the following items, followed by a separate discussion and public hearing and action by the Board of Supervisors. Item number 1, minor amendment case number 24-06. Javier?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Javier Barraza, Senior Planner, presenting minor amendment case 24-06. This is an amendment to the 2030 Comprehensive Plan to remove US Highway 95 from the roads that are designated as visual corridors on page 165 of the Comprehensive Plan and remove US Highway 95 from the legend on map 6, visual corridors. This is the chronology. The visual corridors were established when the 2010 Comprehensive Plan was adopted in 2001. I'm going to summarize that. Staff found a discrepancy on the adopted 2030 Comprehensive Plan. The visual corridors map was missing US Highway 95 on the legend and also depicted on the map. It was shown on the map, but not in the legend. So that brought us to today. And this is zoning, from the zoning ordinance in section 621.00, that being on the visual corridor of Highway 95, which originally was from Avenue 3 all the way to the east and north to Courtside boundary, doesn't permit billboards, and it doesn't permit any new industrial and commercial zoning districts. They have to provide buffering and screening landscape for that reason. So this is the rest of the chronology. And on September 24, 2024, the Planning Commission recommended a removal of US Highway 95 from the roads that are designated as visual corridors on page 165 and also from the map. And on November 4, 2024, the Board of Supervisors instructed staff to start a minor amendment to the 2030 Comprehensive Plan to remove US Highway 95 from the roads that are designated as visual corridors on page 165 of the Comprehensive Plan and remove US Highway 95 from map 6 as a visual corridors. We received additional comments from Bureau of Land Management, United States Army Yuma Proving Ground, Arizona Department of Transportation. At the PNC Commission meeting, a speaker voiced his opposition to this request also. This is showing strike through is text to be deleted and bold is what be added. The only thing where you can see will be the deletion of US 95 from that part. And this is how the map is going to look if this amendment is approved. Going to be gone from the legend. The Planning Commission recommends approval of minor amendment case number 24-06.
Any questions for Javier?
What I would, I can't support this as it is. I'd like to see it kind of changed where maybe from Laguna Dam Road, and I think we were talking, I was talking to Jay about this earlier, making the corridor from Laguna Dam Road, the big guns, not 70 south down to the border. It worries me going north of Laguna Dam Road because you are getting into the wildlife refuge, you're getting into the military, which the military might be able to restrict it anyway from their boundaries up. But I think we need to put it in our language that from Laguna Dam Road north, no signage. Because that way we're protecting the COFAs, the military, BLM, all those lands that are just pristine looking as you go north. It's just, you can't get that scenery anywhere else. But I understand too that, there are businesses and people want to advertise. So if we make it south of Laguna Dam Road back towards town, there's still a lot of space there to put signage. And that's my thinking.
This is Lynn, and I agree with that. I don't want to do anything that's going to mess with Palm Canyon, the COFAs, the COFA gun range. And I don't want anything that's going to have any kind of negative effect on YPG. So, and BLM's right there too. So, but I'm with Darren.
No, my feelings are the same. Highway 95 is a long highway. It goes through the whole of Yuma County. To take it off and just simply allow everything to happen on that stretch of land seems to me too much.
I'd like to try to get with the legislature and make that area a scenic corridor, which would kind of make this a moot point.
I don't know if it makes it a moot point, but
I think if it's got that designation, they can't really do anything with it other than leave it.
Want to say something, Maggie? No?
Not yet. She's waiting to pounce.
It's not gonna pass. You get hurt.
Any other comments or questions for Javier, staff, or Maggie?
Do we have any requests for public speakers?
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
So I've got to open it up. Thank you, Javier. And I'll go ahead and open the public hearing. And I have Jay.
Excuse me.
Thank you, commissioners, supervisors. My name is Jay Meyerdirk. I live out in the, in the foothills. I've lived here for about 20 years. All that we're asking is that you maintain the full intent of the 2030 Yuma County Comprehensive Plan for another 5 years. The comprehensive plan was developed with the full participation excuse me, of citizens and all of the special interests in Yuma County. Their intent was made and is perfectly clear. The citizens of Yuma County would like to maintain one road in Yuma County free of billboards. That road is our front door. I am a retired city planner serving in Scottsdale, Nevada, and a little bit in California. In that capacity, I have seen hundreds, if not thousands, of surveys and comments from citizens all over Arizona, Nevada, and the West, and on their desires of why they're coming to the West, living here, or visiting. Overall, the number one reason is always open space and the beauty of the West. They want to preserve that aspect. That's why they choose to live here and why they choose to visit here. I have never seen a response that I would like to go move to that area or visit the area to be more informed on how many dentists there are available or how many, who is the local best life insurance agent. The billboard industry already has free access and has provided billboards on most every available road, highway, or main thoroughfare. We humbly ask that the front door remain clean. If you will, they are trying to make a billboard out of a simple typo error that was made in the plan. The plan presented a full text that US 95 was a scenic and is a scenic and entryway highway. The map clearly showed that Highway US 95 was a scenic and gateway highway. The only minor typo error that they're jumping upon is in the legend for that map. It was not included, but it's clearly shown in a very bold and a clear color. It is plainly indicated as such throughout the park. We are not asking that you take action to remove any billboards in the county. We are not asking that you not allow any new billboards anywhere in the county. We are not asking that you take other major drastic action against the billboard industry. We are simply asking that you continue to protect this one road, this one stretch of road, as that is the main entrance for our visitors and residents. If you, as the Board of Supervisors or the people of the Yuma County, do decide that in 2029 that it is an appropriate action, this topic can be completely readdressed in the next cycle of the comprehensive plan. But don't circumvent the obvious wishes of the citizens. Don't open the door, our front door, because once it is opened, you can never be closed, even moved back. We are willing to compromise on our overall, and we would like to, and we would recommend that the map 6-2 that was in your packets that shows the corridor going from 3E to the north, to east and north to the county border, being still designated as a scenic and entryway highway. I believe it matters. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Carrie, please, sir.
Chairman Porches, Vice Chair Lines, and supervisors. I'm the Conservation Chair of the Yuma Audubon Society, on whose behalf I speak today. And our address is P.O. Box 6395, Yuma 85366. I'm here today to ask you to consider an alternative to de-designation of all of US 95 in Yuma County as a visual corridor. Our concerns are for the area from Avenue 3E east and north to the northern boundary of Yuma County. We recommend that this area be retained as a visual corridor in the 2030 Yuma County Comprehensive Plan. As for west of Avenue 3E south to San Luis, we have no objection to removing the visual corridor. Why do we recommend this? There are two main reasons. I believe you will be hearing shortly from Yuma Proving Ground representatives who did submit comments on this proposal and who expressed very serious concerns about the effects of this on not only the operations and missions of YPG, but also the natural environment. YPG will speak for themselves, and you will have an opportunity to hear that. The other is the Yuma Audubon Society, the Bureau of Land Management, I and many people from Yuma County and beyond, including many of our winter visitors, recognize the outstanding scenic and biological value of US 95, where it is flanked by essentially undeveloped to minimally developed federal lands administered by Yuma Proving Ground, the Bureau of Land Management, and the Kofa National Wildlife Refuge. This is the lushest area of Sonoran Desert in Yuma County. Saguaro cacti grow here in abundance. Annual wildflowers put on an unbelievable show of color in rainy years, not to mention the palo verdes, mesquites, and ironwoods, and even the common but beautiful creosote bush when it flowers. Unfortunately, La Nina shut off the rains last winter, so we won't have a big wildflower year this year. The Yuma District of BLM states in their resource management plan that the best use of these federal lands adjacent to US 95 is to, quote, effectively educate the public about the resource values and different agency missions along Highway 95. That's on page 381 of your document packet. And this part of US 95 has been nominated as a National Scenic Byway. So I hope today you will not remove the visual overlay from US 95 from Avenue 3E to the northern boundary of Yuma County. Maybe you would want to take a look at whether Avenue 3E to 7E is the appropriate boundary. Quite frankly, I appreciate Supervisor Simmons' proposed amendment, and we certainly could support that. We ask you that you do this to avoid encroachment on the U.S. Army's mission at YPG, which benefits every American, and for the people, animals, and plants that enjoy this predominantly undeveloped area of Sonoran Desert. Thank you.
Thank you. Isaac Rodriguez.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Vice Chairman, and Board. My name is Isaac Rodriguez. I'm the recently appointed Range Operations and Training Division Chief out of U.S. Army Yuma Proving Ground. I'm here with a few other representatives, from the Proving Ground here today to keep Highway 95 as a visual corridor. I appreciate your concern, Mr. Simmons. I would just like to inform you Laguna Dam Road, south of that particular road, actually occupies our land property within Yuma's Army Proving Ground. So I would ask kindly to reconsider those potential boundaries for if the corridor was removed. But based on what was presented, it was my understanding that the 2030 comprehensive plan had been approved, had identified Highway 95 as a visual corridor. However, due to the discrepancies, that's why we're here today speaking to you and not sure I can clearly understand why there was initiative to remove the corridor when it was originally implemented. But again, I'm here to seek, and it's also my understanding the Zoning Commission is seeking guidance from the Board of Supervisors yourselves on how to proceed with the Highway 95. I'm requesting, or the organization is requesting, the Zoning Commission initiate an amendment to the 2030 comprehensive plan to depict U.S. Highway 95 as a visual corridor as its original extent, which was east of Avenue 3E up to Quartzsite. I'm here also to read, if you didn't get a chance, a memo that was written by our test site commander to the Yuma County Planning and Zoning Division. I'd like to read it with your permission out loud so you can kind of understand the impacts that it has with our mission. Addressed to Mr. Barraza, thank you for providing Yuma Ground the opportunity to comment on minor amendment case number 24-06 to remove U.S. Highway 95 from the roads designated as visual corridors of the comprehensive plan. This visual corridor has protected the viewshed and reduced light population over the years. In addition, these aesthetics values, it offers protections to YPG's test mission. Military testing and training on YPG depend on our expansive ranges and airspace to conduct testing for our nation's defense, equipment, and technology. Our testing includes both manned and unmanned aircraft, munitions, and various sensory technology. YPG has concerns about any development project that could affect safety and security related to military testing and training. Highway 95 traverses the entire eastern edge of our Cibola Range, which is approximately 55 miles.
You're gonna read the whole thing?
If
you don't need to read it all.
I wasn't sure if you had seen it, sir.
We've seen it.
Okay, but I just wanted to reiterate the concern, sir. The impact of the corridor, removing the visual corridor, will definitely have a evasive impact on our mission. There is risk to the public that may be involved if they're allowed to operate in and around that range due to the hazardous nature that we execute there. So I just wanted to bring this forward again in case it hadn't been understood. And I consider, thank you for your consideration and time.
Thank you very much. Patricia Kenyon. I'm just trying to be fair to everybody. That was a bell that you heard a couple of times today, so if we can confine it to those 3 minutes as best we can. Thank you.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning, and thank you for listening to me. You've heard a lot of the legal and statutory responses to this move, and I want to rise just as an individual and talk about the aesthetics. I moved to Yuma in 1979, and when I got ready to move to Yuma, most of my friends elsewhere in the country said, "Why would you go to Yuma, Arizona? There is nothing in Yuma, Arizona except sand and dirt, and it's dry." And I came to Yuma anyway, mostly for a job. And I discovered that there was a whole lot more. I currently live off of Highway 95 at 5E, and I consider it to be almost perfect because I can leave my house, I can go west, and I can see as many billboards and as many businesses and as many people making money and selling me stuff as I could possibly want. And I can go east on Highway 95, and I can see farms, wonderful farms that cycle through their planting year every year, and the edges of the Colorado River and the Gila River, and the beautiful scenery going up all the way to Quartzsite and beyond. And I have been sitting here for several hours looking at that image of the Yuma County symbol, Castle Dome. How about that? And I've been looking at this state of Arizona image, and I think that's a river there. And I think we're looking at the west side of Arizona. And I don't see that we could possibly want to sacrifice this gem that we have in Yuma County for billboards. At a time when ads are going online, anytime I want to see an ad, I can see ads abundantly on my phone and on my computer and everywhere else. But when I go out into the world, even just driving through in a car or a truck, I see the real world, the natural world, and I don't want us in Yuma County to forfeit the little bit of access, visual and actual access to the natural world. Thank you.
Thank you, Patricia. Is there anybody else that wishes to talk on this matter? Okay. Again?
Anybody else?
Vice Chairman Lyons, supervisors, the reason that I come back again is not to bend your ears some more, but to raise an issue that I think you need to deal with now rather than later. There are currently there are currently 8, maybe 7 billboards already east of Avenue 3E. One is at Avenue 3E. I think it's for Rafi. He'll appreciate the plug. And there's another one at 7E on the east side. There are, there are 3 farther east. There are 3 at the Yuko Gin, I believe. And then there are 3 more. The last one is for a Chevron in Quartzsite or something. So that's why I came up now so that you would be aware of what could be a problem of existing, perhaps non-conforming uses. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Well, that leads me to a question from staff.
Okay.
What happens when you don't have that designation and there's already existing billboards? Are they grandfathered in?
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
Just to make sure, it can't have a negative impact, right?
Well, no, because if they're not conforming, that's an issue. But if there's no negative impact, if they're grandfathered in,
Mr. Chairman, if they're grandfathered, they're allowed to be there if they were established previously before the adoption of the 2010.
The second question I have is, can we actually designate portions of that as a corridor, visual corridor, instead of the whole Highway 95? Highway 95 goes from the border to way past. I mean, it goes all the way to almost to Vegas.
Okay, before I answer that question, let me just bring back how everything started. The program that helps create these maps, you need to add the proper layers. So when you add the proper layer, let's say Highway 95, it was only a segment from Avenue 3, the visual corridor from Avenue 3E, east and north to Quartzsite. It was a separate layer. When you add that, the legend gets updated. So what happened is the Highway 95 in its entirety was added, but not that segment. One is the Highway 95 in its entirety, but the layer needed for the map was just a little portion of it, and it wasn't added, so that's why the layer didn't reflect it. So we detected that, and we started an amendment to just bring it back onto the map. At the Planning and Zoning Commission, one of the commissioners decided that they wanted the entire Highway 95 to have that designation, so to preserve all the aesthetics. So then we came back with the amendment, but now telling them, okay, if this is designated, now they have to comply with these. That's when the sign companies came in saying, no, we need the business. You are Highway 95. That's where there's most likelihood to put billboards. So we brought it back several times until they said, let's remove it in its entirety. That's why we're here today. But originally, the visual corridor is from Avenue 3E, and that's all we wanted to reestablish. But now at this point, it's like they want it to be removed. So we need to bring it back, probably deny this, and do another discussion item.
Mr. Vice Chairman, I think it needs to go back. I could support some of it. I was talking Laguna Dam Road, thinking about it after listening to YPG. I would, have the visual corridor remain from Dome Valley Road north. Have the Dome Valley cutoff, because most of that's government land. It's COFA, it's BLM, which I don't want those touched. Everything else to the south of that, to 3E, most of that's private lands. So if they decide they want to lease a space to the sign company or whatever, however that works, they should have that right to do that if it's private lands. But I would like to see the corridor in place from Dome Valley Road north that protects YPG, it protects the COFAs, and, because those aren't places for signs, in my opinion.
Would you like to be brought back, Darren?
Yeah.
Would we like to deny this and bring it back in a different shape, form? Is that what you want?
Yes.
Start the process again.
So I'll make a motion, we deny this minor amendment as presented.
And I'll second. And if you can make those changes to it, I think that.
Okay, and we'll get with you, so the exact point. Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
All in favor?
I'm sorry, Mr. Vice Chairman, just to close public comment.
Okay, yeah, sorry. Any other public comment? Public comment is closed. Thank you. Tony, would you make the motion?
The motion would be to deny this minor amendment, which is the 2406, and have staff bring back another amendment that covers what the board, the direction the board is giving.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you very much.
I'm still here.
We're going to open up items 2, 3, and 4 together.
Okay.
Please proceed.
All right. Mr. Chairman, Javier Barraza, Senior Planner. I'll just...
Let everybody clear out.
Are we doing this?
I was going to say, Javier, didn't we see this last time?
It's to certify, ratify. So opening up 2, 3, and 4 to ratify.
This is the first time. Will you like a presentation of all these 3 cases? Okay, we're just here to ratify the action took in March 10th.
Okay, well then the motion would be 1, 2, and 3, and 4?
No, 2, 3, and 4.
That's what I'm saying, 2, 3, and 4.
Probably ought to call out the minor amendment case by number.
Mr. Chairman, sorry to interrupt again. I was just advised you should take these separately.
Oh, okay.
Okay, well, so do
I was
you-
acting under the direction of the chairman to open them up together. So we're going to open up. I was just doing what I was told and instructed to do. That's right, because he's not here. But he circled it and said ratification together. Okay. Javier, please open up item number 2.
Minor case amendment number 2407.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Javier Barraza, Senior Planner, presenting minor amendment case number 24.
Okay.
That's a 7 for verification. Would you like a presentation?
No.
No, good.
Tony?
No, but you have to have a public hearing on it.
Yes.
We have to
please
open up
go
the public hearing.
Make it legal.
We'll close the public hearing. Back to the board.
Okay, well, then I'll make a motion, we approve minor amendment case number 2407 as presented.
We have a second?
That's still the same thing from before, and I voted against it.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Lynn?
Nay.
Oh, that kills it. We're not ratifying
Nay on me.
anything, because there's 2 nays and 2 ayes. That kills it.
Can you get the chairman on the phone?
Yeah. You know what technically what this does is it kills it. It really kills it. It has to be brought back, it has to be republished, everything has to be redone, so. I know it was approved last time, but now it's not.
Cases were approved 3-2 vote on
know.
March 10th.
Yeah, well, now.
So why were they
well,
brought back?
The chairman is not here.
Because of a little typo on the public ad, instead of AM says PM, 9 AM. Should have been, so that's why they brought back an error, typographical error.
So we just re-agendize it?
Can I speak?
Yeah, 1 second, 1 second.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Vice Chairman, this could just be brought back at a future meeting to ratify the action.
Yeah, it's better this way because
I'm gonna bring
now
back
everything has to go by.
2, 3, and,
Things that can change your mind.
okay, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Give it a shot.
See what it,
I know you had concerns about Fat Daddy's down there, about the parking in front of the houses and the noise. What I propose, there's no way to park on the street or in front of houses on my proposed piece of property. You have to park in the property, and there is efficient parking on the property. And then I'm just asking for the C1 permit or zoning, and then I gotta come back in front of you guys for the special use permit and abide by your rules.
do you plan on having live bands and stuff at these things?
No, I do not. But I know your big concern in your calls that you had was parking, and there is, where that piece of property is that you talked about, Fat Daddies, there's houses there, and there's not adequate parking, and they can park in front of houses and on the 2 side streets. You can't do that on my property. There's nowhere on Foothills Boulevard to park on Foothills or in front of any houses or the side streets. I'm kind of landlocked, I guess you would call that. So there's nowhere to do that.
As a matter of fact, they may serve to get some of the traffic out of the road.
Yes. I mean, it's going to work well. I mean, I'm going to do a one way in, one way out, and there's going to be like 44 stalls. There's going to be, and if there's not enough parking, there's not enough parking. They just have to leave. They're just.
Don't make me regret this, but I'll make a motion, we approve
I'll second the
item
motion.
2.
Thank you.
You want to state the minor amendment case number?
Minor amendment case number 24-07.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
That's okay, Lynn. Lynn is on
No,
track.
I'm still a nay, so.
That's okay.
Passes 3 to 1. Thank you.
Don't let me down.
And,
Next one is number 3.
3.
Go ahead.
okay, let's open up item number 3. Or do we want to re-agendize it?
Oh, no, that's it.
Chairman, this is connected to
Same
the minor
thing.
amendment.
Okay, all right, go ahead. All right. Javier, please proceed.
Mr. Chairman, Javier Barraza, Senior Planner, presenting rezoning case 24-24 for ratification. So would you like a presentation on this? Is this connected to the previous case?
No.
No?
I'll make a motion, we approve rezoning case number 24.
Open up
Yeah,
to the
you gotta
public.
open up the public hearing and then go there. I know you gotta get out.
Any going once, going twice, going 3 times? Okay, back to the board.
I'll make a motion, we approve rezoning case number 24-24 as
I'll
presented.
second that motion.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Nay.
Okay. Special use permit number 24-15, Javier.
Chairman Javier Barraza, Senior Planner, presenting special use permit 24-15, again, for ratification. Applicants are here. So, again, it was approved 5-0 back in March 10th.
Okay. I'll open it up to public hearing. Close public hearing. Back to the board. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion we approve special use permit case number 24-15 as presented.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor? Aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. On rezoning case number 24-25.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Javier Barraza, Senior Planner, presenting rezoning case number 24-25. This is a request to rezone a parcel of 10 gross acres in size from RA10 to RA5 under the 74 decibel noise zone. This project is located in the Yuma Mesa planning area on the southeast corner of County 15th Street and Avenue 1E. The intent is to split the property into two parcels for residential and agricultural development. This is the subject parcel, which is actually on the north via County 15th Street and on the west Avenue 1E. Properties follow right now currently. All properties on the north, northeast, east are zone RA10 in ag. Parcel on the south is zone RA5 in agriculture. Parcels 2 and 22 are zone RA10 in agriculture, and the project is under the 74 decibel noise zone. This is an aerial view from 2022, outlined in red. This is a view looking southeast of the property, looking northeast of the property from the southwest corner, looking at County 15th Street and Avenue 1E. Staff received one letter in opposition to the request, not within the zoning notification area. MCS recommends denial of the request. The Planning and Zoning Commission recommends approval, subject to performance condition as listed, depicted on the slide. And also the following schedule for development. Number one, within 2 years, have to split the property with a land division permit pursuant to section 507. And they also have to have irrigation water, which is scheduled for development number 2. Mr. Chairman, that concludes staff's presentation, and applicant is present.
Okay. We'll open it up to public hearing, unless you guys have any questions for Javier.
I don't have any questions, Javier.
Okay. Any comments from the public? Going once, going twice, 3 times. We're going to close it and bring it back to the board for consideration.
Both the staff and the commission send their approval. I mean, they both approve it, so I'll go ahead and make a motion that we go ahead and approve rezoning case number 24-25.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Nay. Aye. I nay, whatever.
Aye is better.
Motion carries 3-1. Thank you very much, Javier, for indulging us today. Discussion regarding legislative issues. Alejandro, please proceed.
Mr. Vice Chair, members of the board, I'll be presenting a legislative update for you, and I'll start with the state. We've had more than 84 days in the session. There have been more than 1,800 bills introduced. 55 of those have passed the legislature. 39 have been signed by the governor, and 2 have been vetoed by her. So with the exception of the Rules committees, which have no deadline, committee work has come to a close, which is a great news for us following the legislature on a daily basis. So this major deadline on committee work results in things slowing down significantly over the coming weeks and months, hopefully. The legislature is currently taking a long weekend and is scheduled to come back tomorrow or to try to move around 366 bills that are still alive through the final stages of the legislative process. The current understanding is that the legislature will convene 3 days each week over the coming weeks to complete their work on bills, leaving more time for legislators to spend in district and also shift the focus to the budget now. So some of the members are expressing concerns about talking about the budget before hearing what the finance advisory committee decides to do, or any numbers or outcome from that meeting on April 17th. So next week, the finance advisory committee will be meeting and giving some updates on the latest numbers to the rest of the legislature. Some of the bills that have been recently signed and are relevant to Yuma County are the following. SB 1218, which alters who can be a designated trustee of a non-incorporated town site and changes filing and approval requirements related to actions by the trustee. 1286 allows a county employee authorized by an adopted county ordinance to carry out specified duties in lieu of the county board of supervisors. 1040, which alters timeframes relating to special recall elections and prescribes procedures for additional candidates desiring to appear on the recall ballot. HB 2390 allows justices of the peace to collect their nomination petition signatures via e-qual. And then SB 1153 modifies the deadline by which writing candidates must file nominations papers from 40 days to 60 days before the election. And lastly, SB 1231 allows a constable to request training from the Constable Ethics Standards and Training Board.
Let me ask you a question.
Sure, sir.
On relevant bills, the one that says county board administrative review approval allows a county employee authorized by an adopted county ordinance to carry out specified duties in lieu of the county board of supervisors. What would that apply? I mean, we give the administrator all the time authority to do that. What's the difference in this bill? What does it refer to?
Mr. Vice Chair, Supervisor Reyes, I do not have the specifics as far as how those would change. I think it's a flexible language, so it's up to the county board of supervisors from each county to decide what duties they assign to a specific employee from the county. I'm assuming it's...
so that would apply, for example, if you wanted to have someone handle the election department, or somebody to handle the security, or somebody. Is that what you? That's
as far as I'm concerned, yes, that is very broad, and it gives quite a bit of authority to the board of supervisors. And I can definitely look into it in more detail and get back to you.
It seems like it's limited to a specific adopted county ordinance, as opposed to the example you gave, but I'm not.
I thought that was simple, but that's why I asked. I mean, it looks to me like it's related to something, and because the next one that deals with recall. I mean, you heard the gentleman here earlier. They all like to blame the board of supervisors for something that we had nothing to do with. And, you know, we didn't want to get into a discussion, and we're not going to get there. But this is a recall election that they're talking about. Does that make any difference on what we're doing right now, delaying the election until November? When do these bills become law? When do they become law?
It's 90 days after the session concludes.
That's earlier than November.
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't. Right now, I can't see any conflict, but there could be some. If it's been approved and it's been signed, there could be that. That changes the time frame. I hope we're not into another one of those issues where we had to make some changes to the dates, and then we're blamed for doing that when it's the legislature that set up timetable. So find out for me what they mean. Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chairman, just so you know, Supervisor Pancrazzi will not be back.
Yes, she texted me that she left the building.
She's like, that was good.
That's right.
Continuing with the state, HB 2033, with strike everything amendment, instant solar permitting. We do not have a position on this bill yet, so I'll go over some of the facts and how it may impact the counties. It requires municipalities and counties by January 1st of 2026 to adopt an online instant permitting process for home power installations. It requires counties to provide an option for home power building inspections for a single family or two family dwelling to be performed through a single remote field report. It authorizes counties that find that an exemption is necessary to protect the public's health and safety to exempt certain categories of home power building inspections from being performed through a single remote field report. Requires counties to re-adopt exemption resolutions every 2 years and submit a compliance report with the Secretary of State, and authorizes counties to delay implementation until June 30, 2027. DDS is currently reviewing the bill and its implications, and specifically the impact it would have on their current software. We are going to be attending a stakeholder meeting on this Wednesday at 9 o'clock to discuss the bill a little bit more into detail. Obviously,
So this expedites.
right. It's pretty much on the spot as soon as you submit the application, online.
So some of the challenges that we have here in Yuma County, and I was working with Pat Headington and Randy Christ, is that oftentimes solar installs take place on the top of a roof. The challenge with that is that the roof should meet a 20-year minimum requirement for life expectancy. So quite often, especially after these last storms when people already were struggling, and the solar installers have been slightly predatory in the way that they've sold it. Right now in Arizona, I was advised that there are more than 5,000 people locked out of their systems because of the engagement letter, and then people can't afford it because it has an escalator in there. So the roofing needs to be able to be, because these companies then charge $5,000 to $10,000 to remove it for a new roof to be installed and then reinstalled, and then charge another $5,000 to $10,000, which the homeowners then have to bear. And oftentimes then they become locked out of their system. I've completed 2 of those recently, and 6 months later, they still don't have their solar systems reinstalled because there's requirements that the original installer, in order to maintain the warranty, be the only ones authorized to go back, and yet they have no obligation to come and do it in a timely fashion. So there's lots of challenges with this. And in the end, for the most part, from what I've seen, is that it's almost an elder abuse type situation, because most of these people that agree to these types of agreements are elderly and aged and don't necessarily understand. They're sold a line about saving the planet. So expediting it, I think, will exacerbate the problem.
Mr. Chairman, and appreciate those comments and feedback. The other comments I've received or heard are that the bill does not include any protection for first responders. If the dwelling catches fire, there's all sorts of chemicals coming out of that fire, and it may impact the health of those firefighters coming into the.
Right now, I could probably take you to 50 or 60 homes within a 3 or 4 mile radius that need to have a new roof installed, but they can't afford to have the old system removed. So they continue to have life safety issues inside of their homes. And in discussions with Mr. Headington and Randy Christ, looking for a third-party inspector to come out and certify that it will weather the storm.
Maybe we can get the state to defer that authority to the county office. A third-party inspector.
Yeah.
Because it seems to me that it would be a lot easier finding someone if it's a county employee. You know, it's not going to go anywhere. We do that with, I think, the water system or the sewer system here. The Department of Water, I think, has given us the authority to check sewer systems, that kind of stuff. So maybe we can work on getting that into the solar system. I think it's.
There ought to be an added charge then by the solar installer to be able to fund that position, because on average we have 15 to 20 a week being installed. And so it would consume a full-time position.
A fee for service.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, would you consider, as drafted, opposing the bill? And I'll just say this.
Yes.
City of Yuma is opposing it right now.
Yeah.
And the league is neutral.
I've had those discussions with the mayor regarding these challenges specifically.
The advice I'm getting from our lobbyists is that we consider opposing it as it is.
And you could ask her to share those specific points.
Sure. Should we, I just want to get clarification from the rest of the board members. Should we oppose it as as currently drafted, and then look for amendments into the, before it gets the.
To me, it sounds like there's some issues.
Just give them information.
Moving on state HB 2104 emissions, voluntary vehicle repair timeline. So this bill, it adds to the criteria allowing a vehicle owner to participate in the voluntary vehicle repair program, that the vehicle owner repair the vehicle not more than 60 days after acceptance into the program. And specifically for us in Yuma County, this is where it really matters. It extends the Waste Tire Fund and program from January 1st, 2026 through January 1, 2029. The Waste Tire Fund and program is scheduled to sunset as it is right now on December 31st of this year. So the bill has passed through the Rules Committees and awaits the Senate cow. We have not taken a position on this bill. CSA, Maricopa County, and ADQ have signed in support of the bill. During the direction, Mr. Vice Chair, to support the bill. And if I may add, ADQ has increased now the waste tire fee up to a limit of $4, either 2% or $4 per tire for that that would go into this fund. Obviously, it's not the ideal for Yuma County. We're still trying to work around the details, and because as you know, we don't get we only get the money or the fee. We can only appropriate the funds that or collect the funds based on the number of vehicles registered to our county.
Correct.
So we're in a bit of a disadvantage on that aspect, but not renewing it or letting it sunset, I don't know what that would imply exactly for us or for the entire state, honestly.
Guys, what do you want?
I don't have an opinion on it.
It don't matter either way.
Doesn't matter to me.
Sounds good.
One direction is kind of a little difficult, but.
Yep. And we can stay neutral, or we can just not have a decision in place at this point in time.
The tire weights has always been an issue anyway for us. I think that eventually we're going to get to a point where we're going to have to recycle ourselves because we're depending on somebody else to pick them up. I know it costs
I've asked that several times.
Yeah, but every time they mention the cost, I think they don't understand that it's like you get to a position or a point where it just works because you pay so much to get rid of it that you could use it. If you could use the waste, if you can mill it in a way that you can use it again, seems to me like we would save ourselves eventually a little bit.
Well, and we heard from engineering, I think that a while back when we talked about milling, that the rubberized asphalt had kind of fallen out of favor.
Yep. But
is that what we were told?
I'll tell you what, I think a lot of people in the district would love to have that rubberized.
Right?
As opposed to the dirt.
Yeah.
I mean, it may not fit all the standards, but at least it would get some cover. I don't understand why when we talk about PM10, we don't talk about just some ground cover, which would cover, with like dust and control a little bit of dust. Because I know that we can't lay a surface on everything, lay a chip seal surface or anything, but I mean, this seems to me like we have a way to turn a problem into a solution for some of these issues that we're dealing with. So, and I know you mentioned it before, and you were told like $1 million something to get the machine, but I mean, if you've been in business a long time, it just turns out much better than to depend on someone else, especially because that's not going to go down. It's just going to go up. So we may want to consider.
How many are we adding to it on a monthly basis? Do we know, Josh?
I can't recall. I want to say it was somewhere in the order of 100 and some odd thousand, 130,000 tires a year.
Okay, we'll drop it right there, but I mean, we're not going to forget it.
How many cars are registered?
I mean, this is maybe not the best time in the world to talk about additional expenses when we don't know what the budget's going to look like. But I think we have to start saving some money for that specific purpose.
And Mr. Vice Chair and members of the board, we're also working with Senator Dunn, as you know, to appropriate some funds to clean up that site
Yeah.
and start fresh.
And then Darren's got a site too.
I've got a couple of them out there.
Yeah. Thank you.
I know that they had a container for tires when they did the cleanup and the desert cleanup, it was full.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of tires on the desert that probably would go someplace if there was a way to pick them up in someplace. But the moment you pick them up, you pick up a problem that you have to get rid of them now. You can't. I mean, you have to pay for people to come over and pick them up. I mean, it may be that it was a far-fetched idea some time ago, but it become more and more a common sight to think, look, if you can use the materials, you may want to try to recycle them here.
Mr. Chair, we can run a cost-benefit analysis and maybe come back to the board and what that would actually look like.
I'll do so. I mean, I think it's better to be informed.
And maybe explore other industries that might want to purchase that waste once it was processed.
And we got kilometers, miles of empty roads.
All right, Alejandro, keep going.
Federal component of the presentation, I'll start with Congressman Gosar's letter to Secretary Noem in support of Yuma County federal priorities. And I'll read from the letter, and I quote, "In addition to supporting the hardworking Americans that combat illegal immigration, I would be remiss if I did not address the critical staffing shortages at Yuma County's Port of Entry. San Luis 1 Port of Entry processes an overwhelming amount of private vehicle and pedestrian traffic, while San Luis 2 Port of Entry examines commercial traffic. Additional CBP agents at San Luis 1 will help to reduce congestion through increased vehicle inspection areas and pedestrian checkpoints." And the letter goes on to say the establishment of a full-time entomologist at San Luis 2 will help protect Arizona's and thus the nation's agricultural economy. The agricultural hub generates nearly $4.4 billion in economic value for Arizona. And to protect this critical source of local revenue, San Luis 2 is prepared to offer office and laboratory space for permanent entomology operations. End of quote.
Well, I thought it wasn't only the problem of coming up with the $500,000 to set up a lab. It was more like, okay, can the guy come? You know? I mean, it'd be a waste to just spend a lot of money and the guy decides, well, I don't feel like going.
I don't want to be there. Yeah.
Then on Saturday, this Saturday, the Republican-led Senate approved a revised framework through the House's budget plan. One of the biggest differences between the Senate plan and the House plan is how to pay for tax cuts. The bill directs both chambers to cut the deficit through spending cuts. So while the Senate spending cuts are just set around $4 billion, the House intends to cut at least $1.5 trillion. That includes a directive to the House Energy and Commerce Committee to cut $880 billion in spending, which has raised fears that those cuts can happen without significant hit to mitigate benefits. And to avoid a financial default this summer, the Senate plan would raise the U.S. debt limit by $5 trillion. Without an increase, the government wouldn't be unable to issue new debt, which means it wouldn't have money to pay its bills, including the interest it owes to bondholders. The Senate plan also calls for an additional $521 billion in spending for a range of GOP policy priorities. There's as much as $175 billion that are expected to be used for border enforcement, plus $150 billion for defense spending. And this would conclude part of that federal side. I also want to touch upon the tariffs, and I know Supervisor Reyes will be interested in this information. So Mexico government is celebrating Thursday having dodged the latest round of tariffs from the White House. Under the USMCA, Mexican exports, including agriculture products like avocados, clothing, and electronics, will continue to enter the U.S. without import duties. Mexico's government will now focus on the existing 25% U.S. tariffs on imported autos, steel, and aluminum, while accelerating the domestic production to safeguard their jobs and reduce imports. That, Mr. Vice Chair, would conclude my presentation to the board.
Anybody have any questions for Alejandro?
Just go ahead. I was just curious, maybe I missed it. Where are they at on the bill for voting locations?
They're still working on the amendments that have been proposed. Nothing has set yet in writing. Peterson had offered again to increase the threshold or the limit of the precinct limit from 1,000 to 5,000. Robin Stalvart-Boquet and I well, she looked into the numbers, and we submitted those to our lobbyists, and the lobbyist is going to meet with Peterson this week to just show them that even if we go from 1,000 to 5,000 people per precinct, it's still going to impact us very, very badly. Also, the amendment they are proposing is that they will now allow same-day voting or early day voting, the day of the election, I should say. Those are the two amendments that they're looking into incorporating into the text. As of today, they have not done that yet. So it's still waiting for Cal, and they're holding that until the amendment is agreed upon.
Okay.
So it's status quo is still the same as last presentation I made to the board.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Alejandro. I think in the interest of time, we'll dispense with the current events.
Yes.
If you want to.
I do want to mention a couple of things. And
Okay.
I'd like to. First of all, when is the health department building?
Tomorrow or Wednesday.
Wednesday.
That is
What time?
Wednesday morning at 9 o'clock.
Okay, that's one.
And we have, if we have a special meeting after that,
To discuss this deal.
We can endeavor to do that. Sometimes getting these things out is not as easy as it sounds. There's
Yeah.
a process and a routing and all that, but working with the clerk of the board, we will endeavor perhaps at that location or coming back here.
either or, but I mean, we'll probably all be there, or the majority
Set
of
the
us.
Time everything as much as we can, as close as we can, to get everything online.
Okay.
It'd be an enormous loss if we just didn't get that done.
We will endeavor to do something Wednesday morning and we'll be in touch, of course.
Thank you. All right, meeting adjourned.
Okay.